Welcome back to Discovering. Well, if it wasn't for an ice shack or a portable shelter, there sure wouldn't be a lot of people out ice fishing on a weekend like this. But on Saturday, I traveled to Florence, Wisconsin, where I met a man with an ice shack with a better idea. Take a look. On area lakes near Florence, Wisconsin, you can sometimes see this ice shanty. From the outside, it looks like any other, but it truly is unusual. The man who built the shanty is 77-year-old Joe Podner of Florence. Well, how's the fishing been, Joe?
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, Buck. Pickled northern are great.
That's your love, huh?
Oh, that's my love. Well, I sit down in the evening and I turn that TV on and I take soda crackers and then pickle northern and watch you on TV, you know.
That sounds
great.
Good.
That's great.
Yeah, it sounds
That's good living.
You bet.
Yeah.
Joe likes fishing tip-ups for northern pike. When it's time to find a new spot to fish on the lake, he packs up and moves the shack without the aid of a snowmobile or ATV.
I love the ice fish, and I made a lot of them on skids, you know, for different people, you know. But they pull them out, and that's where they stay until you have to pull them off the lake, you know. So I just got a brainstorm one day. I says, my goodness, they're catching fish on the other end of the lake, and here I got my shack on this end. Now, if I had some tracks under this shack, I could join them down there, you know. So I went home and I stayed awake that night, you know, thinking, you know. I got a good friend that's got 85 used snowmobiles. He picks up snowmobiles and he junks them out, you know. So I seen him and I says, if you got two Arctic cats, the tracks from two Arctic cats, oh, he says, I must have. I got 80 of them in that junk pile down there, you know. Well, he says, do you mind if I come down and pick out two of the best ones, you know? Come on, he says. I'll help you out, you know. He says, you must have a brainstorm because he knows me good, you know. Yeah, he says, I'm going to make a motorized fish shanty. So I started building. I stripped the cushions off the tracks of the snowmobiles, and I got round to the bare frame. Well, I said, this is going to be pretty easy to make, you know. That's all I got to do is take a 3/4 inch piece of plywood and bolt it to these two tracks, and then I got to figure out a drive train that'll drive both tracks. Well, I got the tracks made and the floor. I bolted that to the two tracks. And I said, now what am I going to use for the drive? And I see a lawnmower setting. I said, you got to have spider gears. Because when you're making a corner, one track's got to slow up, the other one's got to speed up, you know, or else you won't be able to steer it. So I took the rear end of the riding lawnmower out, and I says, my goodness, this is going to work good. I says, that's all I got to do is put some universals on each end and join that to the two tracks. Well, that worked beautiful. That come out beautiful.
Joe, who was a logger by trade, also built his own skidder, log splitter, and many other things. Now, the ice shack has both forward and reverse gears. The The shack has 2 bench seats but no hole. Now, since Joe uses tip-ups, he felt there was no need to put one in, but he could have easily. Everything is outside in 2 handy storage compartments.
This is where the equipment is kept. The ice auger, the tip-ups, and the minnow. Yep, I love tip-up fishing. That's why I never cut the hole in the center for jigging. Everybody that looks at this says, how come you didn't put a hole in the center? I don't fish for panfish.
But you could very well put one in.
Oh, easy, nothing to it, yes. You know, if they ever start building these, they never make enough of them. The manufacturer that makes it will never make enough of them because a lot of people love to ice fish.
Joe said he contacted Polaris and had no success selling the idea to them at this time. But the shanty trailer's easy and can be taken anywhere. Now, at the beginning of the program, I told you how handy Joe is at building things. He has a machine shop at his house. In Wisconsin, most folks crush their cans. And as you guessed it, he built a better crusher with an old Maytag washing machine motor. What gave you this idea?
I had to get one step ahead of my son-in-law. he said the hand crusher was the latest in can crushing. I said, you just wait a while, I'll show you something different. So here it is.
Joe Podner, the true spirit of American ingenuity.